Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So happy you could join me today. So we've all seen a bunch of videos with today's installation. Today we're going to install the E-LinQ. There's the part number. We're going to install it on a 2024 Renegade Enduro. But there's a little twist to today's install. And I'm going to show you. Stick around, we're gonna go make a coffee real quick because the garage is cold today. And then we're gonna get unboxing and installing, because today, before we install, we have to uninstall. Stick around. All right, guys, let's check this E-LinQ out. Cheers. So today we're going to look at the E-LinQ by Skidoo. It fits on Gen 4 and Gen 5. It is the latest E-LinQ. There's the part number for you. The benefits of this part: it combines your cords and your heat advisory into one. So you no longer need to have your key or tether cord to the machine and your heat advisor plugged in. It combines both at the same time. It's also got a really cool magnetic strip. So once you put the key on, we'll show this at the end, but once you put the key on, it automatically magnetizes to the machine. It's also going to reduce broken connectors, increase freedom of movement. It also provides electricity to your 12-volt cords, to your helmet, maintains 100% battery power at one time. What is this really used for? If you've got the Advex helmet with the Vibe communication system, it's going to keep the Vibe constantly charging. And also on the Advex, if you have the little flashlight, you're going to have power with that. It's a 3-amp system, so let's go ahead and unbox it and let's see what we got in there. All right, guys, so I went to BRP instructions. There's our part number, and yet all of our instructions are online. So in case you missed something today, you can go and check out the instructions. As you know, BRP, sometimes they really nail it with their instructions and sometimes they don't. Of course, you got your BRP instructions, which you must go to their website and have a look. We're going to see if we're going to have a look at that. Maybe we're going to get the iPad and put that on. One part to connect one of our keys. Just set that box aside. In the bag, we got the part that we're going to need to install with the magnetic clip. Backing plate. So we're going to have to put our key right in here and then put the backing plate right on top. So basically, all of these cords here are going to click onto your suit. And when you want to click into the sled and start the sled, you're going to just click it on like that. So let's start putting this stuff together. So step one is you're going to have to get your key fob. And yeah, this does hurt, but we need to cut that off. Like that. Sorry about hitting the stand. And we'll go ahead and put this aside. Once you got your fob, you're going to need a little screwdriver. And we're just going to pop those pieces off of there like that. And set them aside. These ones will just undo the little clip in the back there. All right. Next, we're going to go ahead and set this right into the back plate here, like that. And take our other plate and just set it on top like that. And we're going to want to just snap these together. Make sure that you don't break the little clip in the back. So once she's all done, she should look like that. We're going to go ahead and get rid of this ring We already know what the warnings are. Don't ride like an idiot. Don't do stupid things. Just kidding. All right, moving right along, we're gonna put our fob is just gonna sit right there, and we're gonna install that E-Link. But as you can see on my machine right here, I already have the plug for the heated visor. So we're gonna go ahead and unplug that, but we're gonna need to get that out to be able to install the E-Link here. So let's get at it. We're gonna have to take the hood off. We're gonna have to take the panels off. And I'll probably just throw you on a time lapse because getting that hood off is really easy on the Gen 5. On the Gen 4, guys, I'm really sorry. It's gonna be a lot more of a big job. But let's go ahead and take a sip of our coffee real quick and get started. All right, so obviously we gotta remove our panels. You're gonna need your T30 to get the bolts off. Got a little shove. Just set that down nicely. And what we're gonna access is a bolt in here. We've got two up on the dash. Let me just get you there. We've got two up underneath here. So this silver one and this silver one, we're gonna need to unplug that. And of course, we're gonna take the panel off on the other side. So I'm gonna throw you guys in a time lapse, and I'll take you off time lapse right before we remove the hood. All right, guys, so big thing here, that screw. Don't forget to undo your two cables, and there is a connection that needs to be done. Not connection, correction actually. It's not your T30, it's your T26. My mistake, sorry. I'll see if I can add a little comment right in the beginning. So let's go ahead and pull off that hood. It'll just slide off real simple and real easy. Stick it aside. Don't forget to loosen off your airbox. Pretty simple. We're just gonna unloosen that a little bit. So that's on the left-hand side. It's that big cylinder. Sorry, the light's not that good, but all you wanna do is just kind of loosen that off a bit, like that, and then off the hood comes. All right, guys, so we've got our 4 bolts off. We used the T26. I told you there's a correction, not the T30, the T26. We loosened off our air intake, so now we're just gonna lift and pull towards us, and the hood should come right off. Just like that. Set her down the side. And then I'm gonna see if I can get a little bit better lighting for you guys, but we really gotta get up under there. So let me go ahead and get some lighting set up and we're gonna get started. All right, guys, so we're on the right-hand side of the sled, right under our plug-in for our helmet. And the first thing we need to do is go ahead and take off this zip tie. Get yourself a few zip ties because we're gonna have to replace some. I'll just take that off carefully. Set that aside. And then we're gonna wanna just move this out of the way. Definitely not the most easy job in the world, I can tell you that. But need to go ahead and unclip that if we can without breaking anything. But if you can see under there, that's the mess that we got to deal with. So we're gonna have to try to get that out. I'm gonna do the best I can, try to show you guys, but that's got to come out before the new E-Link can go in. All right, guys, so we got the wiring going on here. This was installed from BRP, which leads to the other side of the sled. So we gotta pop this out, and then once that's popped out, we're gonna be able to access this. So we need to pull that out like that. Now, You could either unplug these two cables and cut the connection on your E-LinQ and then just solder it back on if you want, and life is beautiful. But we're not going to do that. I'm going to cut those lines and I'm going to pass the cable, the original cable, through to the other side, and I'm going to show you where that plugs in. But first we're going to have to cut those. All right guys, so before we go ahead and cut that, I want you to have a look here, because if it's not installed already in your sled, there won't be two wires here, okay? There will simply be this wire, which you will clip into this spot. So for our purposes today, we're going to undo this side, unclip this, and then pass the wire through there and join up all this clip assembly. So let's go ahead and cut these wires. And now we can remove this plug, which could be saved for another project another day. And we need to move these wires out of the way. We're going to try and pull it through, but BRP is usually very good at taping wires together, so we're going to see what we can do with that. All right guys, so we want to take our E-LinQ cable. We're going to take the connector and we're going to pass it down through the hole first. Really a tight fit in there. Okay. And we're going to want to set it in like this so that we can flip up our flip to hook up our E-LinQ, right? So be careful with these tabs. You want to kind of go straight down and click it into place, just like that. Be careful with those tabs. They do break easy. My buddy broke one, but there we go. That part of the E-LinQ is installed. Now we're going to take the cable and pass it underneath the steering column and go to the other side. All right guys, so now we got our part back in. I'm going to show you a little trick. You take your wire, find yourself a nice long screwdriver and some electrical tape. And just stick that right to the screwdriver. Like that. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to hold for a second or two. Right? And then just thread it behind your steering column. So we're just going to take our screwdriver and we're going to just pass the wire right through to the other side. Should be nice and easy, just like that. Hope you can see that. The screwdriver is now on the other side. There we go. And we can just pull that right off the screwdriver and we'll be in business. We'll pull this off and we're going to take this off, unplug this and reclip this to here. So we've got our cable through. We're just going to take this one off like that. Get a little pair of needle nose, should do it. And that is the old plug for the plug-in for the helmet visor. So we're just going to take that and just push it aside for now. And we've got our other plug, which we're just going to route behind so that we keep a nice clean job. I'm going to stick that in there like that. Take our plug from our E-LinQ and plug it in. So what I'm gonna do is this wire, I can't get it out, just simply because, you know, BRP, when they put things together, they use a lot of this black tape. So they've taped this wire to all the other wires going around. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna just put a little zip tie in that right away to get that out of the way. Get yourself some black zip ties. You want to keep it as neat and tidy as we possibly can. So let's get that in there. Put it all nice together. That looks great. Get our cable cutters. Oh, that looks fantastic. So you've got a choice. You can take this cable out, or you can just cut it off. What I'm gonna do actually is I'm just gonna stuff mine in behind like that, right? And I think I'm gonna just zip tie it, just in case somebody else comes along and buys the sled and they don't want the E-LinQ, or for other reasons that I may want it, who knows what. But for now, we're just gonna zip tie that right on there and leave everything. There's no power going to it, obviously, but we're just gonna have that out of the way. And that looks like factory, right? Nice clean job. We're all hooked up. So there's nothing left to do here. We're just gonna put a few cable ties on the other side to clean up that, and then we're gonna put the hood on, and that should do it for this job. All right, so I'm gonna show you how this all clips in. We're gonna put this clip on the bottom of our coat. It's gonna stay there all the time, and when we get off the sled, we're just gonna hook it into here like that, right? So this cable is gonna run right up the back of your jacket. So that's gonna always just hang off your coat like that. And when you come to your sled and you wanna leave, you're gonna open the door, pull this off, and just put your key in. Automatically, it's gonna magnetize itself there and there. And of course, our helmet is plugged in up the back of our coat. Finished riding, pull it off, close the latch, and you're good to go. So that's the second generation E-LinQ for the Gen 4, Gen 5. All right guys, so don't forget to button up your screws. You don't want them cross thread either. Hook up your cables and you're good to go. All right guys, so I hope you enjoyed today's video of installing that E-LinQ. But first we had to take out the helmet plug that was already installed on my Enduro when I bought it brand new. So following up today, installation of the E-LinQ. All the instructions are online. You need to add your T26 torque wrench, a couple of black tire wraps, and a flathead screwdriver. So that's basically what you need to get this job done. Thanks a lot for joining today's video. I'm glad you stuck it out with me. If you like today's content, please consider subscribing. It really helps me out. Thanks to all the subscribers that have already subscribed. I really appreciate you. Have a great day and an awesome week. Take care.